Shares of Delta rising this morning. Wow, up 7 points now, up almost 14%. Well, as you know, President Trump signed his big, beautiful bill into law nearly a week ago. Senator Rand Paul was one of 3 Republican senators that voted against it. Joining us now is Senator Paul, and it's great to have you back on, Senator. We could talk about all these things. We'll talk about, last time we had a little back and forth about whether the president should help Israel and Iran. I want to ask you about that in a little while. But you made the point that a lot of that bill you were totally in support of, in terms of extending the tax cuts and everything else. Were you in support of the what we were just talking about, the 100% depreciation as well?
It may be one of the most important parts of the bill. I mean, you can target something you don't like or looks extravagant like a plane, but what about a bulldozer? What about a dump truck? There's a lot of capital expenditures that immediately expensing them is great for the economy. It allows people to more quickly get another dump truck or another bulldozer. So, no, this is probably one of the most pro-growth, positive aspects of the tax bill. I supported it in 2017. It was going to go away. I'm glad it's remaining, and I'm glad it's permanent.
Because there's so many things you like. And I've been watching you for a long time. Everybody has been watching Senator Rand Paul for a long time. If there's something in there that you're just philosophically against, you're not going to bend. You're not going to, they can whip you all they want, and you can get calls, and you're just not going to move. What was it in this bill that was just a no-go, no matter what?
Well, they talked to me through the night, and you saw me come out of a closeted room with blood dripping out of one ear. They almost had me. They almost had me. But no, the biggest deal for me was that it added about $500 to $600 billion in new spending, that the projections, even the rosiest of projections, will that it be in the first 5 years, it will add about $500 billion to the debt. And really next year, the most important and the most predictable, it adds about $270 billion to the debt. In addition, they raised the debt ceiling $5 trillion. This has never been done. This is historically the largest increase in the debt ceiling. And people will argue, well, it's got to go up, it's got to go up. But when you raise it $5 trillion, you sort of set the limit so high that it goes onto the back burner. And people say, oh, well, whatever, we'll talk about it in 2 years. And I really think the opposite. But when they negotiated with me, people say, oh, he'll never bend, he'll never compromise. I told them that morning, and there was a negotiation. It was either give the senator from Alaska more carve-outs and more freebies, expensing lunches for whale captains, all the kind of stuff they stuck in the bill, or they would have had to do a shorter debt ceiling. And I told them I'd do 3 months of debt ceiling, about $500 billion, which is a big compromise from my point of view. But then they'd have to vote again. And they say, oh, we don't want to vote all the time. And I said, well, that's exactly what you need. You need a shorter leash because you haven't shown that you're responsible with money. You actually need to have a short leash where we discuss this every 3 months, and the American people can say, well, how well are they doing now? Have they improved their behavior? Are they getting better with money, or are they getting worse?
Senator Paul, I'm just curious, when people come out and when lawmakers come out and are pushing for more responsible approach to the people's money, to the finances of the nation, and then they turn around and they put special projects in for their districts, is it real? Is that something that it's because it matters so much? Is it just politics? I'm always confused by how, on one hand, you can say, I want to balance the budget, I want to tackle the deficit, and then go and put in your own specialty projects for your district.
So one of the disappointing things was, special tax expensing for Alaskan whale captains, but also what was put into there was a reform on food stamps. And if you have a fraud rate greater than 6%, your state would have to pay more of your share of food stamps. And it applies to everyone now except for Alaska. The fraud rate in Alaska, 60%. But Alaska is now exempt from any kind of rules to try to reform the system to make their fraud rate less. So that's what kind of happened. And it was a negotiation back and forth between them wanting to come to what I was asking for, which wasn't anything special for one state or one person. What I was asking for is more attention to be paid to the debt and to the debt ceiling. And what other people wanted were special carve-outs.
They had to get you or Murkowski.